Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. It's actually really late this afternoon. Welcome to 2021 Open Mic Foundation. Thank you so much for joining. It is a very cloudy day today in South Africa. Tom, I don't know about you, how the weather's on your end.
It's a very cloudy but much colder day here.
Yeah, you guys are having winter. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. It's the first talk for today, and it's going to be an exciting, brilliant 2021. Thank you so much for joining, and I wish you guys a fantastic. Be safe, and it's going to be really, really exciting times ahead. Just introducing to you guys all the way from New York. This is Tom Essig. He is a executive film producer, and as you can see in the background, he's also a musician. Welcome, Tom.
Hi, welcome. Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining, Tom. I truly appreciate the time that you've taken to come onto the Open Mic Foundation and, to come to share your story. I think a lot of people reached out to me this week and shared, and it is so appropriate, to start a storyline of this nature at the beginning of the year to actually kind of set the tone of how we look at things in our lives going forward, for 2021. So thank you so much for this. I think it's going to be extremely exciting. So before we kick off onto your story, I think, please share, who Tom is and, executive film producer and musician. You have these two together.
Well, no, thank you. I'm very honored, and thanks for putting all that pressure on the beginning of the year. I may have really, it's quite kind of you. Who's Tom? Tom is a multifaceted, Renaissance guy, if you want to call him that, who's been a musician most of his life, but along that road has been many hats. I'm a dad, I'm a grandfather, a husband. I've, been a mechanic, a robot technician, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I love going to India now. I've been also a spiritual soul seeking individual and, look through many different things. That's really quick.
Yeah. I'm sure there's much more behind that, right?
Yeah.
So Tom, let's go. I mean, let's start with your story. I mean, listening to the answers, quite an intriguing, title for a story, but I think there's much more depth to it. So I'm gonna hand it over to you. And yeah, let's listen to what you have to say.
So when I talked to you and I sent you from a timeline of starting in 2017, my first trip to India. And that was end of September, October 2017. And went with Raghunath, that's his devotee name. And he was a monk and he's been going there for years. And he's great to go to India with. Sue, my wife, we went together, and I actually, we did yoga teacher training, and then doing yoga, it was not just an exercise. I wanted to know about the philosophy. So the chance to go to India and dive and be part of that philosophical history was really intriguing to me. And between the yoga teacher training and that trip, my mother passed away. So yeah, dealing with your mother passing away is dealing with the funeral, lawyers, insurance companies, and it's a lot. And you never really get a chance to sit still with yourself and mourn that loss. So getting to India gave me that opportunity to mourn. And at this point, I was still a robot technician.
Okay.
But I've been doing it for 18, 19 years at that point. And really kind of like missing being the creative and really doing something with my time. I've been recording and doing all this music, but got to Rishikesh, and you'll know, people will know Rishikesh because that's where the Beatles went in 1968 or 66. I can't remember the year. And it's, the ashram's still there. I mean, it's closed and it's dilapidated, but it's a beautiful place to experience because of all the artwork that's people have spray painted. Anyway, so on pilgrimage, you're not on a vacation. You are in the culture. You are practicing yogic philosophy, if you will, bhakti yoga. And Raghunath is great at leading you, and he knows what to do with sacred places. This is how you are. So when we got to the Ganges, north of Rishikesh, and it was actually, the man's name was Vaishishta. So it's Vaishishta's cave. Vaishishta is basically, I'll put it really quickly, what they say, he's the human son of Brahma.
Yeah.
Okay, so then after you go to the cave, you can walk right down to the Ganges, and the men and women separate, and you go and you do offerings, and then you offer to Mother Ganga 3 times, her own water, and then you dunk, submerge yourself in. And I was mourning my mother, and just being that still and the river rushing over you, I got to, mourn her and kind of sort of, and this isn't mean, but begin to wash her away from me. Her influence. I was always told to be in business, be successful, do your job, you'll get ahead. Was she wrong? No. I did very well with what I was doing and other things. But I asked for change. I said, I'm not me as in that moment. And I can still remember that day clearly. And yeah, it was very moving. You're crying. I mean,
Yeah.
loss of your mother. I don't have that person that I talk to all the time. But that thing, if you ask for something, and that's the point, the answer is not going to come and go whack. The answer will come, and very subtly. So that, what I was saying about listen to the answers. So let's fast forward now to the next year. And Sue, my wife Sue, is an accountant, and Sue in the past is like, oh, why don't you contact this person? They're a musician, they've done this, blah, blah, blah. And I would just like, whatever, I'm too good for them, blah, blah, blah. Cut off my nose to spite my face.
Yeah.
But this time she says, and I like that my question to, like, I just want to be me. I want to be my creative self. I'm not walking around thinking about it all the time. I just let it go in that moment. And Sue goes, I have these clients, these young guys. They do like business videos, A&M Creative, Alex and Max. She goes, you have all this music. Why don't you have some fun with it? Make a music video. They want to do some creative stuff. And finally I went, for some reason, I just went, yeah, why not? Just have some fun with this finally. Just have some fun. Contacted, emailed them. Alex met me because Alex was living locally here. We met. I sent him 3 songs and blah, blah, blah. And from there, we created, he basically wrote a short film to some music. And that's how our relationship began. And Alex kept on giving me this teaser. He goes, I'm going to come to you with an offer. I'm going to come to you with an offer. And this is like months. And I'm like, you're driving me nuts here, guy. Come on. And I like Alex. He's a hard worker. He's smart. They're young. They're energetic. They know how to get things done.
Yeah.
It's quite different than the stereotype of the millennial, is that this is a group of people that love what they do. They're into their art. And this is the payoff. He comes to me at the end of 2017, or yeah, 27. I can't remember the exact years, but
Yeah, that's okay.
uh, we had finished all the business and monies of doing this short film thing. And he goes, I want to make you an offer. I have this movie I want to create. It's something I've been working on for already 3 years, 4 years, whatever you have, what is it? And he says, here's, if you invest and explain to become an executive producer of the film. He also is like threw in, the good catch. He was a good fisherman. He goes, I'll let you do some music in the movie and, blah, 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 score some. And I was like, cool, and he gave me the script, took it home, and I went, huh, here I am. And I went, okay. I green lighted it. And I said, I'm in. And we met again. And essentially, it's myself and this other gentleman, Jeff Ria, who invested in the movie. I'm the main investor.
Mhm.
And the movie's called Go Don't Go.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's launching now in the next few days.
It launches July 12th. It's available for pre-order on Apple right now, and it's going to be VOD everywhere on July 12th. It's gotten good reviews, and it's very exciting and it's filmed locally here in
Yeah.
Columbia, in New York, because Columbia County is also invites the film community to come up. You get tax breaks, and they make it inviting for the entertainment industry to come here and work. And
Okay.
but Go Don't Go, yeah, Alex is a thinker. It's part of a personal story of his. And when it was filmed in 2018. I can't remember, but anyway, and what's happening in COVID now, this movie is so relevant to what's going on in our lives right now. And the story is multi-layered. There's nobody out there who has not experienced something in this movie in their life personally. And it's a completely different genre bending of apocalyptic films, because is he the last guy on earth? Is he not?
Hmm.
Is he going completely crazy? It's a thinking person's apocalyptic film, and it's been well received, which is nice. Like, oh my goodness, I got the answer without knowing it until actually talking to when the movie was set to come out, the Go Don't Go, that I go, like, oh my God, I listened. I got my answer and I listened and I followed through on it. My life has completely changed. But the movie
So,
you gotta watch this. But anyway, go ahead.
so here's my thought, right? So here's what's coming to me right now. So, you know, mourning one's mom is quite a emotional, like you've mentioned, a great loss. Not to give anything away from the dads, but
Yeah.
when it comes to moms, it's a little bit different, right? And I think going out there in the Ganges and doing what you did, but at the same time releasing and letting go, and at the same time asking for the change that you needed, that there is the most powerful thing I think one can do, right? Because people today letting go of emotions and feelings in people is not easy. It takes time, and it takes you have to trust into the process. But the change that you asked for, it's amazing how you evolve from being in the Ganges at that particular time, and you evolved, and somebody walked into, like, I think is Alex, right?
Alex.
Yeah, I mean, Alex came in and you met him, and this whole world just unraveled right in front of you.
Yeah.
It's definitely a listening process, and I think I can understand where you're coming from. You listened.
Yeah.
you know what was that? I mean, coming back from the Ganges and where you have, Alex that, approached you, how did that make you, how was that in between feeling? Because that in between feeling is always that uncomfortable feeling, right?
Well, is it uncomfortable or is it inspiring? So Alex Knapp,
Yes.
Max Gardner, and Max is a producer on Go Don't Go.
Yeah.
Uh, it inspired something.
Yeah.
It got me thinking. I had an epiphany one day. I was driving out to Utica, New York to a hospital to work on a robot. And I was like, oh, wait, this song goes with this song. And so a process began of creating just this video into a short film. Um, and, but the effect of what you're asking me, yeah, I
Hmm.
started talking to a psychologist, and I'm not shy to say it, within the last year, because all of a sudden, all those emotions are coming out in different ways.
Yeah.
It's coming out in anger. It's coming out
Yeah.
in frustration. Um, Actually, my body has had a hard time dealing with it. I have injuries. Um, my left hand is, because of the job, I
Hmm.
need 2 more surgeries, and this has been going on for over 3 years, almost 4 years now. So actually, and that's a gift because it gave me the chance to get involved with film and
Yeah.
also now back with music in a big way. Um, the mother thing, we'll be digging at that one for a very long time. And don't get me wrong, my mother was a great lady. She gave a lot to people,
Yeah.
but she had her things.
Oh
Mother's,
yeah.
Roger Waters said it.
Yeah.
Mother's going to keep baby comfy and warm, right? Cozy and warm. And you have to separate yourself to be you sometimes. It's when you start to realize, oh, yeah, I lived your life, your vision of me. And yeah, that's when you got to start. Oof, wow. I want to love you, but I want to hate you at the same time.
I think we all have that in some part of being having parents and being parents in ourselves, right? It's
Yeah,
interesting. Do you think you had asked for that change when you were there at the Ganges, if that didn't happen with your mom?
I have no idea. Uh, I don't think so. Honestly, no, it's a good question. No, I don't think, I would not have asked that. I probably would have been, do know, and let me say this, Raghunath, when you go down there, and he
Yeah.
said, be very careful what you ask for because you have to be very specific and don't go in there asking to be rich and, have all this material possession, but go in there and give something. Be very careful about what you ask for because you're going to get it. And I got it. And it came in many different ways. Uh, so, and then, yeah, just there's a huge aspect to my mother that, she hid from me who my biological father was. I only
Hmm.
found that out through DNA testing. I always thought it was one thing. So there's a lot to
Hmm.
work on there, you
Yeah.
know. And people might go, "Oh my God, how could she?" Guess what? She's a person too. I
Yeah.
know her father. I know how she grew up. The story of the man who raised me is another very bizarre thing in my life. So there's a lot of things to weave in and out of. So it's really not just my mother.
Yeah.
It's also realizing now there was somebody else out there who I'm a part of, who I'm
Yeah.
finding out genetically
Yeah.
it matters. So
Did
yeah,
it?
it's an intense thing, man, to go
So
and try to get to be yourself and work on it constantly.
it's a constant process, right? Because so I want to know what it was like leaving the robotics job that you had and moving into the space of creating, right?
It's
Because
nerve
it was unknown to you, right?
It's nerve-wracking because you're making a good living, you have your medical is covered, but physically I can't do it anymore
Yeah.
because I'm left-handed. You left my left hand, I show you scars. But even then, uh, even though I can't do it, it's really scary because your family has depended on you for health insurance. The income is there. You're saving money in your 401k. And when you don't have that, nobody's going to give you any of that, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, oh, you go on assistance. Yeah, well, guess what? You don't want to be on medical assistance. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's and you don't get it. You do not. It's not a. It's a completely different way of living, and
Hmm.
you have to do that, and you have to rise above all that. And if you want to, you can. You have to be able to rise above the situation and try something. And I'm trying.
Mm.
You know, go don't
Yeah.
go. And Alex Knapp, gave me this opportunity to rise above it. What's going on? What
Yeah.
happened? And keep a quality of life. So, does that answer your answer? It's scary as hell.
Yeah. I think,
It's
Tom, I can definitely relate to it, there's been a few people that came into open mic, and it's also about you being in this job that basically pays the bills, pays the medical, pays
Mhm.
for the schooling of the kids and the running of the household, but it's not necessary what they would want to do, because what they want to do doesn't necessarily pays the bills,
Right.
or they in a lot of cases it's also about fear. The fear is the thing that blocks them by taking that leap of faith, right? So when you find people that have done that, it's a daunting experience. Besides that, it's that transition phase where people come from comfortable to
Mhm.
uncomfortable, and it's unknown, right?
So that's that thing. Be careful what you ask for because it came and it did slam me, but I didn't realize it until now. I'm being grateful for it. But
Yeah.
there's another aspect to this, and an aspect of being, it's probably about being a man.
Yeah.
Part of your happiness and who you are is also that you are a provider.
Yeah.
So when you don't go to work and you're
Yeah.
not providing the way you want to, man, talk about an ego blast. Bam.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your ego. No, it ain't. You're done. You
Yeah.
have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And
And
find
that thing what you're talking about, right? It's all countries, all races. Man is seen, as the sole provider, or has the breadwinner, as they call it. And it is a huge transformation, taking a leap of faith from something that you've asked for
yeah,
and basically stepped into the unknown, right?
yeah. It was actually a kind of literally, my hand was forced. you know,
Wow.
through an injury, but I could have just ignored it and not listened to Sue, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden get an offer, and all of a sudden I'm going, you know what, I'm going to do this. He gave me the script, and it's more than that. And now it's turned into, I have an album almost done. I
Hmm.
have, another project going on, which was a moment of that I have a documentary ready to go to editing right now
Okay.
on basically on straight edge hardcore music, and well, Raghunath, because he was instrumental in straight edge and actually making that almost like very big,
Okay.
and going. But anyway, that's so all this is led in the last couple years from that moment of sitting on a rock in the water in the Ganges, and Mother Ganga. And,
Yeah.
as Mother Ganga, life, she flows life. She's life to the earth, you know. So,
Yeah, it's amazing the journey that, when you step back and you basically look at, okay, I was at this point in time, and I know that I needed this. I've now asked for it and I've now received, right? And you stepped into that receiving, and you've now embraced it. what what how do you feel now? It's obviously been, a couple of years later from this whole revolutionary or evolution change that you've now been through. Have you settled in it? And I'm sure, what are some of the let me ask you this: what are some of the lessons that you've taken from going through this change and this transformation or this transition into this type of person? Because obviously you, as a person, you've evolved, as to who you are,
right.
right? And we always evolve every single day, don't get me wrong, right? But whatever, you had a massive, transformation happen, to you, from where
Yep.
you were to, who you are right now. So, what are some of those lessons that you take away as a person?
Okay. Uh, because a lot of this happened very fast. And I'm really fortunate. I mean, to be part of something and being asked to be part of Go Don't Go by Alex, um, and to have and being a creative and watching a project that is now probably 6 years old for him.
Hmm.
Finally, like it got picked up by a distributor. It actually got shown in film festivals, and it got chosen by many film festivals. That's like hitting the lottery, you know.
Yeah.
And to be part of that, you have to stay humble because you
Yeah.
have to remember where you came from.
Yep.
You know, I clicked onto the like Apple TV app and just typed G, and all of a sudden that movie come up, Go Don't Go, and it's this huge picture. I have this 75-inch TV, and this huge picture of Alex comes up. I'm like, wow, that's really cool, man. That's so exciting, And I texted him like, oh my God, did you see this? But you gotta stay humble. You
Yeah.
know what? Because today's today.
Yeah.
This interview will be over. I have, it's done. My last sentence is done. You can't dwell on the success of something
Yeah.
because it's the next day. It's my choice to do with it what I will, and it's the choice of anybody what you do in any moment. Um, that's the biggest thing is stay humble, stay true, and stay on that course. You
Yeah.
know, and yeah, it's hard. There's a lot of distractions. It's hard. I'm not gonna kid you. you know, um,
Yeah. I think it's hard for anyone. Sometimes I know I have been through, I mean, we all go through, life challenges, and it's, whatever gets thrown our way. I also think it's how we react to these challenges, and how, we take it in, and what do we do with those, right? Because sometimes, and to your point, being humble goes a long way. And to what you just said, this interview is done, the movie is now releasing, and it's going on. And life does, it does go on, and it has its own challenges, and it's in its own way.
sure.
People,
Go ahead.
one of the things I've learned is that people need to start looking to themselves instead of searching for something out there and asking for the answers out there. you know
Right.
One of the main things I've learned, I think, over the last 2 years is that you actually do know the answers, you're just not listening.
Exactly. If you're supposed to do something, you're going to be handed it. Yeah, I just don't want to beat that point, but yeah, your answers are there. Whether I mean, I am, I have a very strong belief in God. I
Hmm.
grew up and having to go to temple and stuff like that. But I carried my spiritual life after my father died when I was 11,
Mm-hmm.
and I new agey stuff. It, God does give you an answer. I believe that. I mean, that's me. I Everyone's allowed to be who you are. I don't believe in, well, Jesus Christ is the right one, or Allah is the right one, or Krishna is the right one, and you got to follow my path. Jehovah is it. And no, God's
Yeah.
about loving and caring about others.
Yeah.
And God also gives us the opportunity to listen and be who you are. We have free will.
Yeah.
Outside of all the external laws and the way we live in the countries we live in, and we're supposed to be where we are. That's what we're given to deal with in this lifetime.
Yeah. Fantastic. I truly can echo those words as well, and truly understand, from that belief as well, is that we are where we are right now because we are here because we're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I truly believe that as well.
Yeah.
So, Go Don't Go releases on Tuesday, which is the 12th of January.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be on demand on all platforms that have
Yeah.
video on demand.
Okay.
Please, it's really a well done independent film. There's so much to it. And we've all kind of have been living in it. And
Yeah.
Alex is like, oh, so you had a premonition movie, huh? Because it was, filmed in 2018. So, and it's beautifully
Okay.
shot. The cinematographers, Frankie Toriano, Derek Brown, did a wonderful job. And that's what I think one of the things in the reviews is just how beautifully shot it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you to everyone. I got to say thank you. And you had to
Go for it.
Executive producer. I didn't have to go down to watch any of this, but I'm a curious person. I want to know how this happens. I love movies. All my acting experience has been on a live stage. Okay.
Okay.
I love live acting. And now, what is it like to film? So I show up and everyone's like, why is everyone got to stick up their butt right now? Oh, wait, you're the executive producer. You're the guy who's paying for this. You're the boss. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on here. All right. I have no clue. And I remember saying, I think to Frankie, the head of some photography, I was just like, Frank, if I'm standing there and you need a cord, you ask me to bring that. He goes, I can't do that. I'm like, yes, you can, because you guys work really hard. And all these people on this crew for this movie,
Yeah.
they did it for Alex because they were friends, or they did it for the love of the art. They a huge thank you, because everyone worked hard for many, many hours every day. And Colin,
Wow.
the editor, thank you. Wow, what a get. Colin's a professional editor in LA and knows Alex, but everyone really just stepped up to the plate, and they are a huge part of these, the movie getting to where it is right now. Thank you.
Wow. Absolutely beautiful. But I think, Tom, I think in the groups of the Open Mic Foundation, please put in the link to the trailer, so that people can see the trailer. So please go in and
you can go to godon'tgo.film. You can see the whole thing about the movie and the trailers on that. But yeah, godon'tgo.film.
Okay.
It's also you can search it on the internet now. It's out there.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll put up I'll give you the link.
Yeah, but I want to say, I think, you had an awesome, experience, filming. So besides I hear you mentioned you're
Oh,
going to be start editing with the documentary right now.
okay. The documentary, I really don't. I'm just right now. It's just a working title that I just. It's called just Roggenoth right now. It's just a working
Okay.
title. Uh,
Okay.
People have said, nah, it's not going to fly. All right. Well,
Yeah, it's not gonna fly.
the idea is I have a name, you know, Youth of Today's song title I might use. And I'll talk to Roggenoth. Roggenoth, how this happened, this is funny. So 2016, Sue is actually Sue, she recovers from
Mm,
cancer
mm.
and she went to Peru. And the next thing you know, Roggenoth is going to India. And she goes, well, now I'm going to go to India with Roggenoth. I was like, no, you're not. It's dangerous and this and that. And now I have a tattoo of Shiva on my arm. I've been to India 5 times now.
Okay.
So Sue went to India. And I only met Roggenoth once, like 10, 11 years ago. And he was
Okay.
teaching something. I didn't know really anything about him. And being a musician, I'm kind of embarrassed to say I knew nothing about his bands. And Sue comes back from pilgrimage and she goes, did you know Roggenoth was a singer of some band called like Youth of Tomorrow or something? I'm like, what? And I look up, and so I look up his given name, Ray Capo, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, who is this guy? He was a monk. He's back in regular life. He had actually 2 successful bands. Like, people don't have that. I'm like, who's this guy? And I was like kidding. I was like, how come nobody's made a movie about this guy? That was 2016. I have no clue that I would ever get involved in film. I never even thought it would, and it was never even a thought. And that's part of listening to the answer, because it was something I never expected to do in my life, ever, 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 ever.
Yeah.
The documentary. So summer night, filming in this town called Philmont for Go Don't Go. I look and I go, oh my God, I could make that movie I was joking about. Swear to God, that was exactly what happened. Sue will tell you I said it. I was just like, how come nobody's ever done it? Well, guess what? I'm doing it. And Alex Knapp and Derek Brown, Alex went as a cameraman, Derek as a cameraman who worked on it.
Yeah.
And I have footage from India. They did a fantastic job of shooting stuff. We went to Europe to do interviews, Italy, Germany, people that are involved who've been to India with Roggenoth. And also people have different spiritual beliefs. So it's not about one thing. It's actually, it's funny. It's inspiring stories. Why spirituality? What happened in your life?
Yeah.
So it's the same principle as this,
Yeah.
but Roggenoth's the center of it. And you get to see if you've never been to India,
Nope.
it's culture shock. It's harsh. It's
It is.
harsh reality. And I'm not putting it down. There's a lot of people, and there's a lot of wealth, and there's a lot of poverty. But the
Yeah.
poverty is way below anything here in America.
Yeah. And in South Africa. And in South Africa. I mean,
Right.
my parents have been there as well, and the poverty that's there is way beyond what one can imagine,
Right.
unless you've been physically there, to see that type of poverty.
Right. So the Roggenoth documentary is about really rising above. And it makes a connection. Again, it's a multifaceted thing, because this all comes from hardcore punk. All these people from straight edge hardcore punk, vegan punk, there's like all these things of different genres of punk music that I never knew, and now I know. It's very interesting to watch 2 worlds come together, and they're the same thing, and people are going to be like, what? Well, we're going to show you. And and what I've experienced in actually going to India and
Mm-hmm.
participating in arti,
Mm-hmm.
going and prayer, nightly prayers and blessings,
Mm-hmm.
and the mosh pit, okay, in punk music. It exists, and how you it's going to break down stereotypes. And I think, like, I'm leaning on it being called, like, breaking down the barriers, breaking down the walls, something.
Yeah.
um People who have seen, like, I had a 5-minute teaser thing that I'm using, just show people, and they're like, what, you kidding me right now with this? So I'm very excited, and I'm very fortunate that I have two film guys that, you know, uh, I dragged to India. I dragged twice to India, Alex around the world, to get this footage that you can. It's hopefully will be a very inspiring story, and get
Yeah.
past stereotypes of, like, oh my God, if I hear kirtan one more time, or kirtan is professional chanting to God, whatever your God is, whatever it may
Yeah.
be, or something. But it also covers ceremony in
Okay.
Peru, and just believing in God, and Kabbalah, and so it's hopefully will show out very well-rounded spiritually.
Okay. It sounds very inspiring and actually something beautiful that, should be shown to the world. No matter
I
no
think,
matter where someone is in their journey, sometimes it's calling for the right time at the right place, right?
yeah, and also, don't you have to go to places to experience what they really are.
Yeah.
My image of India was, when Sue went, was through the media.
Hmm.
Okay, it's not a good image.
No.
Even though I went through yoga teacher training, and I only went for the philosophy, I'm not a teacher. I went, and philosophically, it's very interesting. But going to India, and the belief system, and how devoted they are to their spirituality, is breathtaking. Um, to participate, how many
Hmm.
temples there are. People don't go to Disneyland in India. They don't. They go to Hardwar because it's, a revered, holy city, to go nightly and get their blessings and do their
Hmm.
offerings. That's their vacation. If the family's that poor, they'll send one person there, and they'll represent the family and bring that back to the family. It's very touching. And when you're an American in that situation, America, it's sad. We see something that's different, and you're like, ugh. But there, they see you, and they welcome you. They try to teach you even more about what
Yeah.
you're there for in their broken English. So it's a completely different thing. They're like, thank you for coming, and thank you for being here. So it's just a different image of the beauty of India in different places. I've been to Central America, Belize, Rotan, very poor, places.
Hmm.
It's just, don't judge the world from your TV.
No, it's not reality and it's not real, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
I can truly relate, traveling myself around the world as well to many different, parts of the country, you kind of get a very different perspective of how the world is and, how they see things. And that honestly, that's what truly inspired Open Mic from the start, is because of the stories that you hear across the world. Because what you perceive it to be in front of the TV or in front of a screen is so different from reality, right?
Right.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
What you see, also what you hear, because the stories that come out from the places that I've visited was absolutely, I mean, at my last trip that I went, I was in South America and I was in Argentina for a while. The stories that came out there was something that you've not imagined before. You're thinking to yourself, I've never thought of it that way,
Right.
it's just so different. So hence why, one of, the reasons, for starting open mic is to share stories like these, with your experience, being to India, your journey of
5 times.
5 times. Wow.
Years.
You're making me feel bad. I'm an Indian and I haven't even
I
been
know.
to South. I haven't even been to India yet.
I know.
So
It's
so it's enlightening knowing that you're not the only one, that sees it this way, because a lot of people, have this image, or this fantasy of what they see on screen,
right.
not realizing it's not the truth of, or the authenticity of what the country is about, nor is its people.
Right.
So, and that's one of the things about, open mic, is to express what's actually happening around the world in different ways and forms, in different sites as well, as to who are we truly, you
Right.
know who are we truly, because it's not, when you sit here and I speak to you, I talk to you as a person and what you've been through, and what you've, gone through, and who you are sitting here today. I'm not interested, of the glitz and the glamour, and, people's fortunes. No. And, open mic is about, let's bring ordinary people, to the table, because the stories are so rich
Yeah.
in what we believe in, because also traveling to these countries and places makes you do view the world in a different lens. And I think being to India, Tom, 5 times is remarkable on its own, right? Me not being to India,
Fell in
but
love.
hey, exactly, you've come out having a different perspective coming out of India right now.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So I have wonderful experiences there. Wonderful spiritual
Yeah,
experiences. Because
yeah,
you have to be open to it. You don't go to the shop. You have to be
yeah,
open to participate.
yeah.
That's what
And
happens.
that's the other
Open
thing,
up.
be open to receive, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, I want to say thank you so much. Guys, the film's coming out on Tuesday, this week, the 12th of January. Go, don't go. Tom, we're going to put in some links on the Open Mic Foundation. Have a look, guys. Give us some thoughts. I mean, it'll be absolutely to support, Tom on his journey, being an inspiring executive film producer. Tom, looking forward to more collaborations coming with you. I
Yes.
mean, I just want to mention Tom and I have a collaboration project going on as well. And we are actually collaborating and partnering up as well. And you guys are going to see what's coming out in this space as well. And I'm looking forward to working with Tom, going forward as well. We're going to create some beautiful magic together.
Yes. They're all starting to get going here. No, and
Yeah.
I'm really proud to be part of the Open Mic Foundation and being invited and getting an event here done in New York. It's very exciting, and to give back to artists in such a way, and
Yeah.
being an artist, and it's really important. A lot of people don't ever get seen or heard who are very talented.
Yeah.
Um, and don't kid yourself. The person who's at home doing a painting or writing a book or trying to record a song, it it just doesn't happen. It's a lot of work. And work that you enjoy. Don't get me wrong. When I say work, it takes a lot of hours. A lot of
A
hours.
lot.
A lot of hours. Like go don't go. Years. This took years. I just want to say also thank you to. Can I say like thank you
Yeah.
to the actors? Alex Knapp, who stars in it, directed it, wrote it. Big triple threat. Did everything. Um, Olivia Lucardi, uh, who's a known actress. Nori Davis, my brother, is a stand-up comedian who I think is going to break big here very soon. But Nori's a really good guy. Bettina Sky and Zoe Wagner, and I am in it too.
Wow.
So yes, Thank you, thank you, thank you. No.
Well done, Tom. Oh,
And yes,
Tom.
it's actually one of the, I gotta say, one of the most exciting things is that Alex gave me a chance to score a bit of the film,
Mhm.
uh, and hopefully the other gentlemen, Evan and Luke, who scored a large percentage of it, hopefully we're going to get together and get a soundtrack of the score of the movie done. So we'll
Okay.
see. But thank you everyone for being on and listening, and thank you to Seshni for creating this foundation for us. And
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. I
and
mean,
wish you the best with it.
yeah,
And
I think having people like yourself coming on to open mic, inspires people, to speak out more about, their stories and, coming all the way from New York, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's pretty early on your end, but, I appreciate people that take the time, that want to share and echo those voices, across the world so that people understand that we know different. It's just oceans that's actually separating us right now.
yeah,
So I want to say thank you to you, and I look forward to working with you and
thanks.
some collaborations
Hang
coming
on,
through.
it's gonna get exciting.
Exactly.
I look
Hang
forward.
on.
You don't know, insane. I
Yeah.
really am.
Yeah, I think, South African, US, working together and collaborating, it's going to be over and to meet you and basically to, to collaborate and take this to the next level.
And also, I got to say thank you to Sue, my wife, Sue Bear,
Oh,
because also you came through Sue,
yes.
and she knows a lot of people because she has an accounting business. But Sue's also a talented storyteller,
Yeah.
and she's been on here. But
Yes, she has.
like Alex owes her thanks, and
Yeah.
she's, I just owe her a lot of thanks.
Yeah. I mean, even with me, I mean, I met Sue when I was in Bali. Oh, beautiful soul. I treasure her.
Her daughter
If it
too.
wasn't, hey?
Her daughter.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in on this project. We'll see.
All right, guys, thank you so much, for watching Open Mic and tuning in today. Truly appreciate it. If you have any comments, if you want to get in contact with Tom, if there's any questions regarding the movie that's releasing, if you want to know a little bit more about the pilgrimage that Tom has been on in India, if you have any more questions, please send them through. You guys have my details. You also can message on the group itself, and you guys more than welcome. Tom's also in the group if you guys need to get into contact as well. Have
Yeah.
a great afternoon, everyone. Tom, any final words from your side?
No, thank you, everyone. Be inspired. Listen. Have a great year. Let's just have some peace finally with everything that's going on around the globe.
Yeah,
Thank you.
fantastic. And I echo that to you too. Thank you so much, Tom. Thanks, everyone, and have a fantastic afternoon. And Tom, to you, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.